Hey guys, Shawn from She's in Her Element. Welcome back to the channel. It has been a while since I have shared an antique or a thrift haul with you all, and today I've decided to share with you all of the treasures I have been collecting over the last few months, including something so special in my eyes anyways. I am completely honored to have it. So if you love a good thrift haul, don't go anywhere. I'm about to get this party started.
Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane.
First off, guys, let me apologize for the way I sound. I've actually been incredibly sick for a while. Still have it a bit, and you can hear it in my voice, so please bear with me as I may or may not become raspy at times. I can't help it, believe me. I am trying everything. It keeps lingering, so I apologize and just bear with me. Now, as you all know, Scott and I are avid antiquers, yard salers, flea marketers, whatever you want to call it. We love a good bargain. I love the thrill of the hunt. I love not knowing what I'm going to come home with. What trinkets and treasures am I going to find that I am going to have? That's the absolute hands down best part of thrifting to me. It is the absolute thrill of the hunt. Now, all of the items I am about to share with you have come from Savers. They've come over a few different shopping trips. This wasn't all bought all at once. This was definitely quite a few shopping trips, but these are the treasures that I found at Savers. I found this vintage inspired double arm brass table lamp. It came with these two fringed lampshades, and I just love everything about it. I love all of the details. I love the look. I love the finial. I think it's absolutely sweet and simple and elegant, and the price for this beautiful piece was only $5.99 with the light bulbs. Next is this vintage blue on white Delft style chamber candle. That blue and white is absolutely iconic, and when I saw this curved chamber candle holder on the shelf, I knew it was coming home with me, especially with a price tag of $3.99. I love the pattern. I love everything about this little candle. I think it's absolutely sweet. This tall brass hurricane candle holder was the absolute bargain of the century. It was on a top shelf. This thing looked like a giant. I spotted it from 2 aisles over, honed in on it, sped over there with my carriage, and as I was approaching it, my jaw was dropping just from the sheer size of this. It is beyond gorgeous. It's sophisticated, it's stately even with its size. I'm thinking this has to be beyond my thrifty budget, what I like to pay limit, right? Wrong. Oh, so wrong. This entire thing, minus the candle inside, was priced at $3.99. $3.99! Like, I have seen similar hurricane candle holders online, not even this size, well over $800, far beyond my price tag, far beyond anything I'm willing to pay for something this gorgeous. But $3.99? Oh yeah, this came home with me. And to be perfectly honest, I would have bought every last one of them if they had more. My mama didn't raise no thrifting fool. Continuing my love affair with all things brass, I spotted this beautiful brass lamp and was captivated with the entire silhouette of this lamp. This is solid brass, very, very heavy, definitely vintage, and I even like the shade on it. Love the little tassels, love the olive green color. Similar lamps can sell for hundreds of dollars. This one had a price tag of $8. No brainer. I just really loved all the details on this lamp. I think it's beautiful, and it was the perfect addition to this dark corner in my bedroom. I found this pair of brass shelf brackets for $3.99. Definitely pretty sure they're just like brass plated, but Nonetheless, I love the designs and the silhouettes and the shapes on these. So even though the pair is only plated, they're still a very, very heavy metal. They're not bent, they're not warped, they're incredibly unique, and I think they're going to be useful in a project somewhere down the road. For $3.99, I can afford to grab these and put them away, so when that project, that inspiration, that idea, whatever it is, when that spark happens, I'm ready to go. Now, my rule of thumb when thrifting and antiquing is if there is something that catches my eye, I'm gonna buy it. It's coming home with me. If you don't pick it up and claim it, somebody else is gonna. And shopping in places like Savers, there's absolutely no guarantee that you are gonna find another item like this for that price ever again. So my rule of thumb is I always pick it up, even if I shop with it the whole time in my carriage while I still decide, and at that last minute I decide to not buy it, that's on me. But if it sparks an interest, it's going in my carriage, and more than likely, it's coming home with me. Very rarely do I truly put something back, but I do use that rule when walking around the store. If by the time I walk around the whole store, if there's anything in my carriage that I am questioning, like, I really don't need it, it will go back, because I'm not a fool. I'm not about to just waste money for the sake of buying something. I want to buy something that catches my eye. I want to buy something that's calling out to me, not just waste my money as I go. And I think this was a pretty good investment. So I'm going to tuck these away for a future project. This little white hook was sitting next to that on the shelf at Savers, and it was 25 cents, which is actually very cheap. I mean, these are at least a couple of dollars to buy one. So for $1, it came home with me. I think it has beautiful details on it. I love the distressing. Things like this can always be used somewhere along the line, whether it's my home, whether it's a project, you name it. This is a very useful item, and for $1, hello? No brainer. Why would I leave it behind? I wouldn't. You can't even go into Hobby Lobby and buy one of these for $1. Can you buy anything for $1 nowadays? I don't even know. I don't even think penny candy's pennies, so who knows? The $1 was a bargain price. I have it for whatever I want to add it to. Moving on. I saw these vintage candlestick path lights, and the box caught my eye because it's definitely like from the 70s, I believe. Once I opened it and saw the gorgeous little candle holders that come in it, the lights go up into the bottom. This is the candle that it has. There's 10 of these in there, and when I saw them, I thought for sure I can use this in some type of a DIY project somewhere down the line at some point. Some inspiration is going to come along where I am going to use these wonderful little path lights for something. $3.49, like, I couldn't leave them there. I mean, these are worth more than $3.49. Definitely useful. I love finding things like this. And they work. This set still literally works. Now, I don't think I'd want to put it outside, but I do want them for something. What? I don't know, but that's not important. They're only $3.49, and I love them. Can you think of a use for these adorable little ones? Let me know in the comments down below how you would use this, and your idea could be featured in a future DIY video with the credit going right back to you. I found this galvanized little metal toolbox, $3.99. Decent shape, decent size. Really, really love the look of the galvanized metal with the long handle. Totally gives me vintage toolbox vibes. And can I just say, it came from Marshall's with a $12.99 price tag. If the original price tag is on there, it's kind of a fair guess that this wasn't even used. So definitely worth it, definitely a bargain. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't hit it yet to see how I'm gonna use all this stuff down the road. Transformations, I see transformations. Super pretty, definite bargain. This mangy looking spray of eucalyptus had a price tag of $1.50 on it. And if you know anything about picks and florals, they can be very expensive, especially the more realistic it looks. I thought this eucalyptus was super pretty. For $1.50 for some pretty realistic looking eucalyptus, another no-brainer. I love finding florals and picks and things like that secondhand because you truly are saving probably 90%. Scott actually spotted this vase before I did, and he ran over to grab it. At first glance, it did look like it was wooden and it was carved. However, it's actually cast from resin. It's still beautiful and unique to me, and with the bargain price of $6, this was a no-brainer. I do plan on giving this piece a bit of a glam over, something to really highlight the details covering it, but until I decide what I want to do with it, it's going to stay the way it is. It's an absolutely gorgeous, stunning vase. Look at all of that beautiful carved detail. It really does look hand carved. It's very hard to tell it's resin, but definitely resin, definitely gorgeous, definitely a great find. That ends all of the saver items that I have found over the last few trips that I have gone there. And my final cost for everything added together before tax is $36.20. Like, total bargain. I absolutely made out. I'm definitely ahead. This is why I thrift. This is why I thrift often. You never know what you're going to find. I love thrifting. I love the thrill of the hunt. It is wild. It's wild getting all this stuff for that little of money, especially nowadays when you can't even get a quarter melt for like under 50 bucks. This was super shopping at its best. Next, I am going to share with you some treasures that came from our favorite antiquing center in Wareham, Mass. We shopped, I think, 2 or 3 different times to get all of these things. And can I just say, one of my little tips and tricks is to really make friends with the dealers. We frequent this place often. They know us. We talk, we chat. We're friends, if you will. I've built a relationship with these antique dealers to the point where when they get something, they will actually set it aside before even putting it out for anyone else for Scott and I to look at, because they know when we shop there, we're shopping. If they have something we want, we're gonna buy it, and they are more than anxious to sell us their wares. Building relationships with people who sell antiques is a very important part of savvy thrifting. It's actually one of the keys to my biggest success doing this, especially with some of the bargains I can get from them. It's incredible. So I build sincere, lasting relationships with all of these people, and I reap the benefits from doing so. I am going to save what I consider to be the best for last, and I am going to start with one of my most favorite items. This stunning Victorian cast iron swivel mirror is just absolutely amazing. This piece is super, super heavy. It features an adorable cherub laying amongst the roses on the top. The swivel pivot handles are shaped like dragons. Like, how cool is that? This wonderful piece dates back to the 1800s and is in impeccable condition for its age. It's truly, truly stunning. Charlie, the guy selling it, one of the antique dealers there, had a price tag of $50 on. Then there was a markdown tag to $40 on it. I offered him $30. He said, take it. I took it. The rest is history. Now it's mine. Base is just so ornate, so beautiful. Goes up into a fluted stem. Even more details. I love the beadwork around the edge. And look at those dragon heads. How cool is that? It does swivel. I think it's unique and beautiful, and I love it. Next, I found this large rustic copper pedestal fruit bowl, maybe? I have no idea what this actually is, but I was immediately drawn to it. I love the size, I love the shape, I love the finish inside and out. It's just absolutely so cool. Again, this was one of Charlie's pieces. It had a price tag of $40. I offered Charlie $25. He said, take it. I took it. Now, I did try to find some information on this piece, and I literally cannot find anything. Nothing whatsoever. There's no markings, there's no stamp, there's nothing on this that gives me any hint what it was. If you think you have a hint, drop a comment down below and let me know. I would love to hear your theory on what you think this gorgeous bowl was used for. I wonder if it was like a winner's cup or something. I don't know. What do you guys think? This old hardware, which is actually a very old knob plate and knob. There's no other mechanics to this. It's just those two. And 3 amazingly old casters. Oh God, I have got to find a 4th to these. But these were inside of that copper bowl when I found it. And Charlie just threw it in for the 25 bucks for the price of the bowl. I absolutely love them. I think this is so cool. I wonder where it used to be. And I think I can use it someplace in my studio. So that's the goal for this piece, is once my new bun conversion is done and my studio is ready, I'm gonna use this somehow in there. Look at that. As far as these go, I would love to be able to find a 4th, but if I don't, they do make tables that have 3 legs. So definitely going to keep these in my supply drawer and on hand, because I never know what I may or may not want these for. And you never know if I'm going to find more. Again, the thrill of the hunt. You don't know what you're going to find. Who'd have thought I'd find a bowl, some casters, and an old knob? I found this Tennyson's first edition from 1882 book of poems, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I love the detail, I love the design. It is detached from the spine. Alfred Tennyson himself. And I love that it has the paper that separates the drawings. Parchment paper. Absolutely gorgeous. I love using old books in decor. They really bring so much character to a room and add just such an element of timeless beauty. They are a really great way to decorate, and with the outsides being as beautiful as they were back in the day, you can find some gorgeous, gorgeous jackets on these books. Can you imagine like a whole library with spines this gorgeous facing out? Oh, I totally can picture that. Prettier the outside, the more I want it, and this was the bargain price of $3. They definitely didn't know what they had. But my win. I found this adorable lady's footstool, and let me just tell you, this is a lot heavier than you think it is. This has some serious weight behind it, definitely quality made. The top is in pristine condition, and this matches my Victorian couch, which is what caught my eye. I thought this would be a great addition to my great room, and for $10, absolutely coming home with me. I love the shape of the legs. I definitely want to do some type of a makeover to this piece, but I don't know what and I don't know when, and for now, I love it exactly the way that it is. Can you believe it matches my couch? What are the odds? How many people have a mustard yellow couch? Well, I have a yellow Hummer too, so. Beautiful, beautiful, solid piece. 10 bucks, awesome price. Mine. I found some vintage candle boxes and I bought 3 of them for $6 each. I have 2 on my mantle. I love them on the ends like that, the way they just hold the plants. I think they're really sweet. 3rd one I am actually going to use out in my studio. I do think I want to like give these an upcycling, a makeover, a zhuzh up. They need something. They're beautiful the way they are, obviously, but for right now I think they look great on the mantle, and the $6 price tag was a definite bargain. This is a Dover vintage wastebasket from, I believe, the 1940s. If anyone knows the exact dating of this, I would love to know. Drop a comment down below. But it reminded me of the one my Grandma Sylvia had in her kitchen. Every day she would put the compost scraps in there, and then at the end of every day my papa would take it outside, dump it in the compost pile, give it a rinse, and bring it back in. It's just a very nostalgic piece for me, and I do plan on using it in my studio. Do I need it? No. Do I want it? Yes. Not everything has to be a functional, purposeful, or even intentional item. Sometimes you just gotta have something that makes you smile, and this makes me smile. The lever works. The waste would go inside of there. And there you have it. Little cleanup, little elbow grease, a little oil to make it run a little smoother, and it's going to be beautiful again. Did you have something like this growing up, or did your grandmother have something like this? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of kitchens in America had something similar to this. I saw this vintage rooster knife block, and you know me with my chickens and my roos. So I started looking at it going, what could I possibly use that for? Because I certainly don't need it as the knife block that it is. But I started thinking, I bet I could drill alternate size holes all in this and use this in my new studio as a way to display some of my detail brushes. Kind of like functional art, if you will, but with kind of a little twist, because it's vintage and it's kitschy and it's super cute, and I really do like it. So that's what I picked it up for. That is the plan. When the studio gets done, I will work on this piece. It was only $2, and for $2, I think it's going to turn into a very utilitarian object for my studio. But one kind of cute. I mean, isn't he adorable? $2. I like it. Next, I have this adorable vintage metal hanging match holder. These are the holders that you slide those giant containers of matches into, and the strike plates are visible on the sides. Back in the day, these would be next to the stoves that have to be lit by hand with the pilot. Even today, there are stoves that have to be lit by hand, and people have these still in their kitchen to hold their matches next to their stove. Maybe they have them next to the wood stove. Whatever the case may be, these are actually very utilitarian and very handy to have still to this day. I thought this one was just super cute. What I didn't know until I got home was my mom told me that my grandmother Rebello actually had this exact one in her kitchen in New Bedford, Massachusetts, and this just brought back a flood of memories from my mom, made her smile. It got her a little teary-eyed, to be honest, but it was super cool that I was drawn to something that she has an attachment to. This was $1.50 and worth all 150 of those pennies. Super cute. I love the morning glory on it. Now, I have saved what I consider to be the absolute best item for last. Scott saw this little antique lantern when we were walking through and was absolutely transfixed with it. It was Charlie's, shocker, right? And he said to Charlie, you know, how much do you want for it? Charlie was like 20 bucks. Scott was like, sold. And this lantern proceeded to come home with us. We didn't even open it until we got in the car. As we're driving home in the car, I decided to open it and see what this was all about. When I opened it, there was a piece of paper in there. I was like, what the heck is this? In it is a handwritten note that I am going to read to you. This lantern was carried by my grandfather, Terrence Rogers, who fought in 100 battles. What? He carried this light in the Civil War. Are you kidding me right now? Like, this is a piece of history. The Civil War? How much older it is, I do not know, but this is an absolute truth. Signed, Mrs. Mary E. Rogers. There is a little note underneath it that says, believe me, the candle is 70 years old in 1972, which means that candle in there has been in there since the 1900s. I was born in 72. This is the coolest thing ever. So I did a little digging because obviously once I saw the note I wanted to make sure that time frames fit and that this actually could be a possibility, because like, why would this sweet little old lady write a lie like that? She wouldn't. I 1000% believe it, and after doing my due diligence, I believe it even more. This is a true Dietz Bullseye candle police lantern. This is really from the early 1800s. This is an amazing piece of history right here as far as I'm concerned. Thinking of who carried this, what did they see, where has it been, what has it heard? If an object could talk, this is a story I want to know. I have so many questions for this object. It is absolutely stunning for $20 and so rich with history. I am truly honored to have this piece. Now the total spent on all of those items from the Antique Center is only $119.50. That's a fabulous price for all of those little slivers of history I brought home. Now, for my final haul, I am going to be sharing some items that I got from a very dear girlfriend of mine. We have been friends since we were little girls. Our parents were friends. We spent lots of time together in our little circle, camping, having fun at each other's house. We were just always together. Sadly, she's lost both of her parents. Her mom went many years ago, and her daddy just recently died, which left her with the estate. Now, she was sweet enough to call me and invite me to come over and walk through, and she offered me first dibs on anything I wanted throughout that house. Obviously, if it wasn't something that she wanted or that she wanted to keep. So Scott and I hurried over there, and it was just an incredible time. Walking through that house and seeing all of these things, you have to picture a very eccentric time. Our mothers used to thrift and secondhand shop before it was even cool. It wasn't cool back then at all. You'd never know. They could come home with a cabinet and everybody would be like, wait, you went to the grocery store, where's the food? And they'd be like, no, we're not eating this week, but look at this cabinet I got. Like, that was life back then. So going through this house with my girlfriend, we laughed, we cried. There were so many memories that we had, and it was just a very bittersweet time. But I was very blessed and grateful that she gave me this opportunity. So everything I'm going to share with you came from there. Now, I am not going to be able to put any type of a price tag on each of the items, because what Scott and I did was we gave her a check for $400, and this is what we came home with. This isn't everything. There's still furniture, but that's for another day. We got this large, gorgeous, antique Home Atlantic working wood stove, and this is going to go in my new barn turn studio. Going to keep me nice and warm through the winters. Alone, this saved us thousands of dollars, and I am going to cherish and love this for many, many years to come. I am so blessed to have the friends that I have. The next item is this gorgeous Louis XIV cast iron fireplace frame and summer cover. This is from around 1901. I believe it depicts the goddess of the hunt on there. This is French. It is old. It is gorgeous. And I am absolutely going to figure out how to use this in my studio. Next, I got a pair of Hessian Soldier andirons. These are also from the early 1900s. Super heavy cast iron. If you're not sure what Hessian Soldiers are, they are German soldiers who served as auxiliaries to the British Army, and they served in several major wars in the 18th century, including the American Revolutionary War. These are very kitschy andirons to have, and I love them. They're actually pretty big. These came out of a very, very big fireplace at some point. Next, Scott grabbed a rototiller. It looks new, but it's seized. He couldn't get it to crank over, but he's pretty handy, so he's gonna see if he can, in fact, get it going. If so, that would be fabulous. If not, we're not out a whole bunch of money. But considering how new it looked, he was willing to give it a try. I got this beautiful mirror that has a home in my upstairs hallway right outside of my bedroom door. It's old. It's very, very old. It's Victorian, and the print is called Hope by George Frederick Watt. prints. This next print is called In Love by Marcus C. Stone, and it was originally created by him in 1888. This print caught my attention with the picture entirely. The view of the garden behind them, the portfolio of papers besides the stately dressed man. Is he an artist? Is he an architect? Is he a businessman? He is gazing at that young woman as she presumably sews with her foot resting on a small wicker basket. Life looks amazing in this picture. I don't know the exact age of this print or this frame, but I do know both are old. You can tell the age by the back of the frame. It had some form of a black paper across the back that was removed for one reason or another. Maybe I will fancy the frame up. Maybe I'll just give it a little gold gilding somehow. Who knows? Either way, I really do love the print. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and it's going to look great in my studio. And it's super special because it was Maggie's. I think I love that the most. I was drawn to this next print. What really caught my attention was the arched openings and the columns with the ivy growing on them. It actually reminds me of the artwork that depicts Mission San Juan in Capistrano, California. Now, art is subjective to the individual, but I think this is absolutely fabulous. I love the picture in it. It just kind of brings me to a place that I've always wanted to go every time I look at it. This is definitely another one for my studio, and I like the frame on this. It has a little bit more detail, kind of like a fake ostrich going around it, if you will. I'm definitely going to do something to this frame. I'm not sure what. Maybe I'll just clean it up, but I love it nonetheless. Again, I don't know the date of this frame or this print, but looking at the back, I can in fact tell you that both of them are old. This also had some type of a black paper on the back protecting it, also removed for whatever reason. I love old photographs. I just really, really do. And this one's just super pretty and probably one of my favorites that I got from Maggie's home. I super love it, and now I know why she had it. Now, here's a little teasing sneak peek for you for some of the furniture that I got from my girlfriend's house. I also have probably another 25 pieces that I want to share with you guys because some of them are actually amazingly incredible finds. Can't wait to transform them, and I can't wait for you to be along for the ride. So be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. There is still so much more to come. And there you have it. My treasures from the last few months of thrifting and antiquing with Scott. Now, like I said, this does not include furniture, and let me just tell you, I have been a shopping fool with furniture for me to upcycle and change, and I can't wait to share that with you, but there is so much. That's a video for another day. I hope you enjoyed this haul. Let me know in the comments down below, what was your favorite item that I shared? Hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and as always, thank you so much for joining me. Bye guys.